we've seen some joint ventures that have been working for decades and have been working successfully. And then some people started seeing issues within a matter of months. And it's probably because they did not think much, as much upfront, and did not anticipate, or maybe they did, but they did not anticipate the type of issues that they will run into. So with all of that, why do companies consider joint ventures? Maria, maybe coming back to the point you made, talking about 5149, having a vision and having clarity as to what it is that people are trying to achieve. Can you talk a little bit about that at the very planning stage, very early days?
Sure, George. So maybe to make a little bit of an inflammatory statement, but it kind of goes along with what Marie and Andy have said. Really, I think a joint venture is kind of a default mechanism. It's not the first structure of choice, I think. Ideally, if you're going into a new situation, a new transaction, you prefer to do an acquisition most times, because that way you're in control, you own the assets, you're taking on the liabilities, but you're fully in control. So I think oftentimes when you're talking about a joint venture, you're talking about a situation where you frankly cannot do an acquisition. And that might be a situation where you don't have the technology. So you need to share technology with another party who maybe has the intellectual property or has some sort of proprietary technology that, that you need in order to develop a product. It could be a situation where, as Marie mentioned, you're going into a geographic market where your business doesn't have the strength that the other JV partner has. And so you want to avail yourself of their understanding of the culture and the regulatory environment and all of the things that you need to know to operate in that market. I'm old enough to frankly remember when there were markets that you could not go into as a US company without a local partner. So I've been involved in joint ventures in India and China at a time when really that's the only way you could get into that market is with a joint venture partner. One of the things that becomes very important is to understand the regulatory scheme in that country. Oftentimes without the benefit of having a local partner who understands the regulatory scheme, I think about MOFCOM in China, the likelihood of you succeeding is very small. So you need to think about, does somebody have geographic strength that maybe you don't have? And the other situation where I think it's common is if maybe you don't have the ability to access markets that the other party has. It might be a geographic market, but it might be a particular channel. So, so those are the kinds of things that you need to think about. Is there someone who has a strength that you need in order to get into a particular market? But it needs to be really, really well thought out. What's your business plan? What are you thinking about? What is it that you want to get out of this joint venture? I've had business people come to me, and Andy and Marie, I'm sure you have too. They say, I want to form a joint venture. And then you start to delve into what's their end game? What do they want to achieve? And they frankly haven't thought about what they want to ultimately achieve. So it's important to work with your business people to make sure that you understand what it is that they want to achieve with this JV so that you can draft a document that reflects that.